has 2 million Muslims, more than any city in Europe. So when the faithful gathered Tuesday for the start of the Eid al-Adha holiday, tens of thousands of men unrolled their prayer mats on the asphalt of Moscow's streets. Last year, they prayed outside in rain and snow. Looming overhead were the new minarets of the century-old Moscow Cathedral Mosque that is now under expansion. But it is only one of 4 mosques in all of Moscow. Abdulbadi Sultanov is a Russian Muslim from Tatarstan, a historically Muslim region. He says every Moscow neighborhood should have a mosque and madrasa or religious schools. The Russian Orthodox Church is building 200 new churches around Moscow, but new mosque projects never seem to win building permits. Russian Muslim activist Gaidar Jamal charges that the Kremlin blocks new mosques in Russia's capital.
They understand the politics of suppression, direct suppression, and they don't understand that this will create a problem for themselves much worse than those they are trying to solve now.
Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin vows that no new mosques will be built in Moscow. He says Muslims praying in streets on holidays are largely Central Asians, guest workers, who will eventually go home. Speaking recently to Echo Moskva Radio, he said, there are only 10% of Moscow residents among them, and building mosques for everyone who wants it, I think this will be over the top. Sobyanin, a Kremlin ally, won last month's elections for mayor. He seems to know what voters are thinking. On Sunday, Slavic residents in a working-class Moscow neighborhood rioted against Central Asians and Caucasians. Here they chant, Russia forward, Russia forward. The spark was the stabbing death last week of a young Slavic Russian man, apparently by an immigrant from Azerbaijan. Analysts called the anti-immigrant riot a modern-day pogrom. Police detained 2,000 migrant workers. Politicians called for banning apartment sales to foreigners. They also want to impose visa restrictions on migrants from the southern Muslim nations that only a generation ago were part of the Soviet Union. Isolda Kapustina moved to Moscow from Ukraine after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Tuesday, standing near the Cathedral Mosque, she looked at the rivers of Muslim men flowing past her Orthodox church. She wondered about Moscow's future.
Будет мусульманский. Вот это я боюсь. Поверьте мне. Я хоть их и люблю.
She worried that Moscow's future will be Muslim. She said Moscow must retain its Slavic identity. For now, Moscow's future seems to play out on the streets, between prayers and pogroms. James Brooks, VOA News, Moscow.
For more on the stories you've heard on our radio programs, visit our website at clnnews.com. That's where you'll find in-depth reports, related stories, videos, and more from our team of correspondents. Or take the news with you by downloading podcasts of your favorite VOA programs. That's at voanews.com. Online news for a changing world.
One of life's great wonders is a starry night, but